What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Ross the Boss coming at you with an all-new Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4. As you can see here, we are still going strong in the Soviet campaign. Of course, we do have battle plans to move out on the German Reich just in case they do decide to declare our war. Anyway, we are also going to be preparing to secure some additional oil resources from Iran. They appear to be neutral. And of course, if we do declare war, I don't believe they're going to be leaning to either side. So I should have about 12 units in this area. And it looks like they do need to be assigned a general. We will give you, not a field marshal. Let's give you Ivan Shchervanovsky. Create ourselves a front line. And then an offensive line to the coast. Actually, that's going to be very challenging as it is. So we'll try to do something like this. Try to take Tehran. And we are going to be adding more troops to that border as soon as possible. And it looks like we have seven units here in the Iranian north, all mountainous troops. We may want to go ahead and produce more mountainous troops when we can. Kuzma Galitsky. And if we go into our recruit and deploy, we should have another 12 divisions fairly soon. Looks like we are going to be having some additional military police and of course some heavy armor, or some medium tanks I should say. Modify our government. I might go ahead and get total mobilization fairly soon. We are currently working on anti-fascist diplomacy, which will ensure that the United States, the United Kingdom, Free France, and the will all like me. The German Reich will, of course, not like that at all. But I am a little worried about how powerful Germany is right about now. We did secure Finland. We did secure Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. We have the ability to research another technology. We are in the year 1940, April of 1940. We are going to finally go ahead and upgrade centimetric radar. Radar station level 4. Actually, let us unlock improved computing machines, reducing research time by 5% throughout the game. We are a little low on manpower, so very soon we might need to go ahead and move from volunteer only to limited conscription. And as soon as we get some tanks, we might want to go ahead and start rolling out on Iran. We actually have quite a few tanks as it is. Talented new officers lowers the penalty from officers purged. What we're going to do is these 13 units are all going to be deleting from this battle plan. Instead, we are going to make our way over to this front line here. Create an offensive line on Tehran. And that'll be our plan for the time being. And I would like to take Tabriz. Really, I'm only here for their oil resources. Gonna be about 50 oil, though we have 126. It is very nice. I really want some additional steel. And I'm not sure where exactly I would go for that. Part of me would love to take the British Raj, but then part of me would love to just play this historically. And I think for the meantime, we are going to go and take a look at our construction map mode. Looks like we do have quite a massive queue. A lot of our military factories are still being worked on. Of course, we're going to have a variety of new air bases fairly soon as well. Going to our default map mode, we have a few German resources here in Memel. And it looks like we have some troops that have not been assigned a front line. Let's fix this. And then an offensive line. As such. I wonder if I did that correctly. It doesn't look like it. Where are all of these troops? We have unlocked a fighter, I believe, or a strategic bomber. All of you are here. Well, let's create a front line, which we did. It says 23 men are on this army, even though there's 24 here. And now we create an offensive line. Once again, all the way through the river into Warsaw. Okay, we are now good to go. Some additional unassigned units. Those 4 can stay for the time being. We are going to continue researching whatever we can. Most likely going to be getting a new fighter. Or we could start working into our heavy fighters. Outdated equipment in production. Looks like we have a new strategic bomber. That is going to be giving us a lot more range, which is very nice indeed. We still have the ability to modify our government. I don't think we're going to be doing that just yet. We're waiting for our additional troops to reach the front line, and it looks like they've made it. So all that is left to do is to justify our war goal. We really would like to breeze here. 130 days. I'm really hoping they don't get any type of guaranteed independence from the Allies. Though we need to be on the lookout for that. It might be a good idea to create some fortifications on the front line. We don't have too many... Well, we do have quite a few provinces. What I would really like to do would be to have, you know, a front line here all on this river. Most of Poland needs to be mine. Unpausing the game. And if we look at our production map mode, we are still producing quite a bit of medium tanks. We are lacking some tungsten. If we were to upgrade our medium tank production to heavy tanks, they don't require tungsten. Instead, they require, I believe this is chromium, and we do have quite a bit of chromium. Let's look at our technology before we jump into anything crazy. We do have a free research option. Can we get the KV-1? We cannot because we are ahead of time. But we might as well switch over our tanks to heavies. Only because we are lacking tungsten, but we have a lot of chromium. Let's also look at our resources once again. We have a lot of chromium. We have a lot of steel, though we are running short very soon. Don't have very much tungsten. And of course, we do have quite a bit of oil. We'll have a lot more very soon as well. I also could produce light tanks. They are cheaper and they are a lot quicker. Joseph Stalin questions Iranian sovereignty. Not sure what I'm going to do at the moment. Still not 1941, so obviously we're not going to be moving in that direction. It is 1940, which means we can get improved infantry equipment. And of course, we have the ability to improve some of our naval bombers, which is absolutely what we want to do. We are really going to need some aluminum and some rubber. Might be a good idea to trade for those. And of course, I could change my trade laws. Change from an export focus to limited exports. This would give us less factory output, but of course we would have a lot more resources. I don't think I'm going to change it just yet, but it is going to happen very soon. I keep pausing the game and keep forgetting to unpause. And as soon as these 12 troops are completed, and it looks like they are, we are going to move down into the Caucasus, add you to, I believe, Turkey here. Let's do something like this. They're already moving down. Create a new army inside Turkey and Iran. We will have you be led by Alexander Gorbachev through the front line, most likely by the coast. We are going to get an offensive line on Tehran. all the way like this. It's going to be a really ridiculous plan, but we're going to try our best. And I really would like to send some tanks into this new military, which would be very nice indeed. Assign the divisions here. And now we are finally running low on manpower. Only 2,000 left. So now, of course, we are going to be upgrading our volunteer only, getting a lot more recruitable population to 2.5%, limited conscription. And now, of course, we have 1.72 million manpower. Kind of ridiculous when you think about it. If we click Iran here, you can see that we are going to be able to declare war on the 29th of September 1940. So not too much longer. We also have missing equipment for production. Our light tanks, which we don't necessarily need. Are we still producing light tanks? We are not. Which obviously means when we recruit and deploy these new units, we are not recruiting light tanks, so they will never finish unless we edit the light tanks into heavies or something like that. Possibly going to be getting 4 units of heavies with, of course, some motorized infantry. We are going to need to improve our production here. Our motorized infantry, we're going to need quite a bit more, maybe even upgrading those to mechanized fairly soon. We are lacking rubber for our wheels. And of course, we are still pumping out a very powerful navy. Gaining political power every day, 75% national unity. It looks like we have low supplies on the Western Front. Because these 13 units are now part of Turkey and Iran. Second Vienna Award, we shall see how long this lasts. A treaty has been signed at Vienna following German arbitration that will see Northern Transylvania restored to Hungarian rule. The territory had previously been awarded the Kingdom of Romania upon conclusion of World War I, leading to a bitter dispute. We now have quite a big mass of territory being released to Hungary, which I believe, if we go into our factions map mode, they are part of the Axis and not neutral. I would like to declare war on Romania. That might be a good idea as well. But Romania does have, it looks like they're not aligned. The Treaty of Craiova, more concessions have been forced on the Kingdom of Romania, with Bulgaria reclaiming southern Dobruja. The territory was annexed by Romania in 1913 after the Second Balkan War, and is still mostly populated by ethnic Bulgarians and Turks. Regardless of the reasoning, the Kingdom of Romania now stands significantly weakened. Well, it looks like I believe they lost this province, Dobruja, and of course they lost this entire province. We should be gaining Bessarabia fairly soon. I'm curious as to what exactly we'll need to do to conquer that. We're going to need a big fleet, and it might be a good idea to start justifying a war goal. Claim on Bessarabia. Maybe we will get that very soon. Once again, it looks like we are going to improve the Stalin line. Gonna pause the game. Looks like we're gonna be adding quite a lot of land forts versus the Far East fortification. Let's improve the Stalin line. Demand Bessarabia. We are going to send the ultimatum. See if they give it to us. Unpause the game. They've already lost all of Transylvania. They've already lost Dobruja. There is no way they are going to win against the Russian army, especially with 0 allies. Romania surrenders Bessarabia. We are now the controller of Bessarabia and Bukovina. Looks like we got this very small province as well. Giving me a free military factory and a civilian factory. Soviet Union claims Bessarabia. Legionary Romania joined Axis. Ooh. So if we look at our faction map mode, we will not be able to take any additional land for the time being. But we did gain about 2 naval dockyards, and of course some civilian factories and some military factories, so that is nice to see. We really need to create a powerful front line, which means these units need to add more as quickly as we can. Let's also extend this front line all the way to the coast. And we are going to need some tanks in this area as well. We should still be constructing quite a bit of military factories, but looks like we have just finished up fairly soon. We're about to be moving into Iran to secure a lot more oil. And I'm really just waiting for the United States to join this war, and then I think we'll finally join the war as well. We are really going to need a lot more troops on the front line here. We are still producing some as far as I'm concerned. We now lack rubber, we now lack aluminum, and we now lack tungsten. Joseph Stalin angered by Iranian posturing. Now, we are still producing tanks. As far as I'm concerned, we are lacking light tanks. We are, of course, still training our units. They will be done fairly soon. All of these units will be moved to the front line of Hungary and Legionary Romania. And it looks like Norway still stands. I'm curious as to when they are going to be invaded. It looks like we have, by the German Reich, we have completed a new fighter, which is nice to see. We're in the year 1940, not 1941, so we're still a little far away from getting some additional production. I would love to get better decryption, so that way we can find out more about our enemy. But we could get centrometric radar. That sounds like a good idea as well. I would really like another research slot. It's been about 4 years so far. And how is Elan? Only 400 airplanes can be stationed here. We might want to go ahead and add a few more strategic bombers for the time being. Which we don't have very many of, but we'll add as much as we can. Our naval bombers as well. We don't need these interwar fighters. But hopefully we could get them destroyed. All of you can be moved over. We have so many troops as it is, and of course we are going to need to upgrade this airbase to a 4 out of 10. Moving you to the very top will be our #1 priority. And very soon we should be able to declare war on Iran. Moving in some actual fighters could be a very good move as well. We don't appear to have an airbase on this side. The assassination of Leon Trotsky. I think we might also go ahead and create a very small airbase here. That way we can also send in planes whenever we need to. We have a big base in Armenia. Going into construction, once again, this airbase needs to be moved to the top. And as soon as our planes are completed, we'll send them on down. Now, we should be able to declare war on Iran. And the 29th of September, 1940. How many planes are we currently producing? Not very many. 1 every year, only because we lack aluminum and we lack rubber. Let's go into our trade map mode. We really need rubber. So it looks like the most is from British Malaysia. Let us take what we need. give them a few civilian factories. Looks like 0 out of 56 have been delivered. And we also currently need aluminum, rubber, we already got the rubber, and tungsten. Let us go into our trade map mode once again. Find our tungsten. Don't think we want to help the United States, but we will help British Malaysia. And we have now taken tungsten. We are now looking for aluminum. Can't get from British Malaysia once again, but what about the United Kingdom? It's probably going to be very challenging to get. Whoops, not Yugoslavia. By amount, we're going to give them 8 civilian factories. But of course, if we now go into our production map mode, we are easily going to be producing, going up from 1.07 every week to 1.54 every single week. So we are about to have a lot more production pumping out as soon as we can. And in the time being, we are about to move on Iran. Looks like Joseph Stalin brings a revolution to Iran, about to be attacking fairly soon. Moving on in. On the 29th of September, 1940... $188 political power means we're most likely going to be changing our export focus trade law to limited exports, lowering our factory and dockyard output as well as our construction speed, but of course we are definitely going to be utilizing a lot more resources. Claim on Bessarabia, our national focus, has been bypassed, as well as claims on Poland and the Baltic security. Once again, we have the ability to get a new national focus. War with Germany, or... I don't think we want to do war with Germany just yet. Let's start working on Far East fortifications, giving us quite a few additional land forts. And for the time being, let's send over all the planes we have. We don't have very many. We're still producing interwar fighters, is what it looks like. And I don't think we need any actual naval bombers. If we look at our production map mode, we are now getting almost 2 every day, or 2.36 every week. And it would probably be very good to improve to our heavy tank production. Here, and of course here. Once our war gets started with Iran, we're going to get quite a bit of experience, which means we can definitely go ahead and change some of our templates around. Talented new officers lowers the penalty from officers purged. Now, because we've changed to our heavy tank production, if we go into our trade map mode, I'm not sure that we really need all of this aluminum. I think it was actually tungsten. We have a surplus of 85, so this means we don't need to be taking any more, losing any more civilian factories than we're already losing. And if we look at our rubber, we still do need quite a bit of rubber. Aluminum, of course, is surplused by 46. So let's drop this down to have a surplus of 6. We have a lot of chromium, we have a lot of steel, and we have a lot of oil, which means we could produce quite a few heavy tanks if we ever decided to. Chromium, steel, and oil. And as far as I know, the only other, military factories that we're going to be utilizing are going to be producing more naval bombers. We now have the ability to set up our war goal. We are going to declare our war against Iran. And just like that, I don't believe they've called on any allies. We're going to go ahead, pause the game, put a cut in here. As always, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you all have an awesome day, and I will see you in our next adventure.